So I've just completed my book, and it's on Amazon, it's on Kindle. Kind of excited. I don't want people to, I guess, get scared off, but know that putting a book together it takes some work. And I guess, you know, there's certain things that I want to walk you through. First, I'm going to kind of do an unboxing of the book. If you want to just jump ahead, skip this part, you're obviously more than welcome. I have no control over that. But this is just kind of show you what the book turned out and how it looks. You know, it really pays off once you see it. To see it on, you know, I have a proof. And the proof was fine, but you know, it's still not your final. And obviously, you know, they put this in here or whatever, just to let you know, hey, this is something that you should review, go back through again. I can't stress editing. Yeah, but nevertheless, I'll show you the final product, give you a brief description of the book. If you're interested, it's available. Tree Hugger is available on Amazon and Kindle. $8.99 on Amazon and $3.99 on Kindle. And if you purchase the book, then I think it's set up so that you would have 99 cents to purchase on Kindle, so you can have both. But without further ado, let's unbox. Oh, and sorry, whenever I talk about Amazon, know that Amazon is the parent company of CreateSpace. CreateSpace is who you'll go through, and then there's another one, Kindle Direct Publishing, KDP. That's everything through Kindle. So you're looking for your royalties and set your pricing. All of that is done through Kindle Direct Publishing. Woo! All right, so I just ordered a few to give away, but I guess it doesn't so much look any different than the actual proof. So I don't think you could really see the difference, because I don't see the difference. So I guess the proof was more or less the closest indication that you would have to your actual book. I wasn't sure, but just looking at it, it is, and wow, it's awesome. So there it is. Not a huge book. You know, J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter, 300 pages and all these volumes, but at the same time, it's the book that I wrote. So just a brief description of Tree Hugger. I wrote this book prior to my little girl being born. I had this idea, I think about 3 years ago, and all I did was kind of jotted it down on a piece of paper. That was pretty much the furthest that I had gotten. Then within the last couple of years, I kind of just had some inkling to take it even further. So then it was just recently, it was probably about 6 months ago that I even started writing the story. And then I published earlier this month. So what I'm telling you is that use this as inspiration to write your book, write your story. You know, just because you go through, I guess, a publishing, or excuse me, you didn't get the publishing deal of a lifetime where they're paying you, you know, some crazy amount of money to publish your book, and you went through the independent route. Some people feel like you're less of an author, and I would tell you that that's just the opposite. Just as an example, I believe the person that did the I think her name is E.L. James, or she writes under that. Don't quote me on that, but it's the person that wrote the 50 Shades of Grey series. Well, she used Amazon initially. I think Amazon Web Services initially, and before she got picked up. So, nevertheless, and then another story is J.K. Rowling's, and they were, you know, her publishing company telling her that she would have to write under J.K. Rowling's, which is, you know, crazy, just because they thought that a man wouldn't, or boys or men wouldn't read her book because it was published by a woman. So you have all kind of sexist stuff like that, and it's just like, I just don't feel like it's necessary. So I say, you know, if the publishing deal of a lifetime doesn't come to you, there's alternative options. So I'm ever so grateful for Amazon and Lulu, I believe, is another one that can help people like myself who don't have a plethora of resources. I don't know anyone to be able to get a book out like this. So, and this, again, this is my first book. You know, I'm kind of in it. You know, I'm new to this whole thing. This is more or less a children's book, but I wouldn't categorize it and just say, you know, as an adult, I think it's a great read. So if you're interested, look it up. I'll put a link in the description, but here's Tree Hugger. Yeah, so about what the story's about. There's a little girl who, she's pretty tenacious. Actually, she's absolutely amazing. But she loses her father in a tragic car accident. And she is then left to decipher life, kind of, or adjust to life, I guess you could say, without her father. And just as, I guess, a twist that can happen, and this is okay to tell you, but her father is reincarnated, and as she begins to accept that as normal life, she's kind of struck with opposition again. So it's a little bit of a, someone described it, or a reader described it as a tearjerker. I don't want to say it's a tearjerker, but if that's how it's interpreted, it is. But I think it has a good message, and you see, I didn't really realize that now that I have a little girl, that reading this to my little girl can be impactful for her as a woman. Recently I was starting to read and find out that many of the books that are out there for young girls are often have heavily male dominated characters, or the girl is dependent on some type of, you know, frog or prince or something to save her. And little girls in the context of a book are never dreamers. They lack ambition. So it's just like, I didn't realize that this book ticked those boxes, and this little girl is a fighter. This little girl is tenacious. This little girl is smart. This little girl is she's determined, and you get to see her power in this book. And I am absolutely proud to say that, you know, I wrote this, and that is something that my little girl can say that her daddy put this together, with the inspiration being her. I didn't realize that at any point of writing this book. I didn't realize that. I just knew that she was the inspiration. So the main character, her name is Christian, which is my daughter's name, and that was the inspiration. But that was it. It didn't have anything to do with my daughter, but somehow it just kind of, whatever it was, it went through me, and I wrote, you know, what is now Tree Hugger. So yeah, but that's the book. And I guess there's any questions or anything like that, hit me up in the link below, or the description, or the comment section, excuse me. Let me know. I'm more than willing to answer. Now for the part of this session where I want to tell you what it takes to actually do this. So for one, in order to get your book, first thing that I would encourage you to do is finish your story. A lot of people jump ahead, and they're so concerned about, you know, how does my book get to look like this? Where do I get the ISBN from? You know, whatever it may be, you're concerned about the wrong things if you have not finished your story. Take the time to finish your story. No matter if it's 100 pages, no matter if it's 300 pages. Write the story. First, you got to get it out of here, down on some paper, or whatever you do, or into a computer. Whatever you do, get the story finished first. That's my first and foremost. Like, don't worry about this. This is not, I wouldn't say it's a hard part. It's the more tedious part. It's just work. It's work to get it to come to this point. But this is easier than you getting that story done. After you get the story done, then I could say that you would worry. There's nothing wrong with being proactive, but I wouldn't say that should be your focus. Finish, finish, finish. Most people, that is their problem in life. They start a project, but they don't finish. See it all the way through. Once you have your 100 pages or plus pages, at that point, this is when the work really comes. Editing is number 2. Within editing, if you have the resources, financially, what I mean is send it out to someone, send it out to an editor, and their job is worth their weight in gold. I think they're absolutely amazing. There's reasons that we have editors, so I highly recommend it. However, in my case, I did not have, I didn't want to spend so much money to produce this. I was trying to minimally take the least amount of cost that I could, and that's not always the best approach, but I'm saying, for me, it's what works. So I would encourage you, if you don't have the financial means to do it, or if you'd rather try to stick to a more stricter budget, then I would say go ahead and you edit on paper. I print it out, read through it, edit it there. Then I'll edit it again on my PC or Mac or whatever you have. And then I would send it to some very close family and friends. If you have to send those people non-disclosure agreements, by all means, please do that. And send it to them and let them edit it. You step away from it for a little bit. Once they give all the corrections and the feedback, then you go back in and edit again. And then after you get to a point where you got everything uploaded on Amazon, you'll get the proof copy. Sorry, if you see that. You get the proof copy, and then you spend some time away from it, because what you tend to do is your eyes will focus on things because you know the story since you wrote the story, and you'll skip over things. But when I stepped away from it, what I noticed that I would do, I stepped away for a couple of weeks after I finished everything and sent it off or whatever, and I came back and I was just like, I was kind of like, I wrote this? Like, I don't remember writing this. It's new. So once you step away, you're able to reread what you wrote again with a fresh set of eyes and edit again there. So that's 2. Edit, 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 and edit again. Because you're putting this out there for people to read, and you want the minimal amount of mistakes as possible, and you want it to be a good read. So you need that feedback, and you need a good editor. So that's number 2. Number 3 is the decisions that you will come to make. So as an example, how do you get it to this form? This is I think 5 by 8. So I use Amazon. You can use Lulu or whatever services, but let me tell you why I feel like Amazon, this is why I chose to use Amazon. Back in 2006, Amazon was worth like $18 million, and JCPenney's, Best Buy, Macy's, Target, Walmart, Kohl's, getting a few, but there's 8 of them. Best Buy, I don't know if I mentioned that, but okay, so on a scale, those companies made up 70 million, something like that, and together, combined. And then Amazon was over here at 18 million. Well, today, those companies, I don't know exactly what they are today, but Amazon is the single largest retailer, and they're at 400 million. So Amazon has come that far that they're higher than all 8 of them combined. Why I'm telling you this is because that's going to make a difference. You want to be on the largest platform. At the end of the day, even if Hulu or Lulu or some other independent publishing company does your book, you still want it to get to Amazon. Amazon is a platform. Amazon has the audience. Amazon right now is everything for us in terms of retail. And then you have Amazon feeds right into Kindle, and so now I have the paperback as well as you can pull it up on your Kindle. So that's why I would say use Amazon, and my experience has been great. So I don't have the experience to tell you what it would be like if you used Lulu or any of the other services, but I found that this was very convenient, very easy. So what I'm saying is, so to get in this format, either you download a template based on what size you choose to get, and I found that the Kindle template I didn't really care for so much, so I copied the margins and that aspect of it, but I then built my own template. So it just depends on how savvy you are with tech savvy with Word and Photoshop and Illustrator, and that's how I ended up getting like the cover and stuff like this. But so at that point, build your template, take your story, drop it in. So little details and things like this. So having, you know, if you can see that, what does it say actually? Chapter 6, mile marker 11. So little things like that, you know, hopefully you can, everything is up on YouTube. Look it up. I don't want to kind of take the time to explain how to do all those little things. It's a header and footer really, but you want it to appear on every other page or something like that, or something, some special parameters not on the main title page. You need to look up stuff like that. But it's all available. So how you want to customize your book is, by all means, totally up to you. So once you get it to that point, then you're almost good to go. From there, you're gonna upload everything into Amazon, and that process is pretty simple, but again, it's tedious. It's a little bit of work to kind of get everything approved. They'll send you back and forth information regarding to take a look at it. So there's like an internal launcher to say, hey, you know, your book is it's been uploaded, take a look and see how. And so I recommend that you do a proof. Always do a proof of the actual book. You can view it on their template or whatever you want to call it, the internal viewer, but nothing's gonna beat having the actual book and flipping the pages and reading through it this way. This is the best way. I would do both. Again, take your time with this. It's not a race. It is ultimately, it's the journey to getting a finished product that you could enjoy. Yeah, so that's that. From there, oh, sorry. How did I get the cover? You can get the cover done from Amazon if you're not, you know, savvy with Photoshop or Illustrator or anything like that. For me, these are pictures that I took with my cell phone. So I went outside. There was I think this tree is called it's a dogwood tree, but it has a special Corneus florida or something like that. Has a special name. They're made in California, or not made, but they're native to Virginia. But we have our version of them here in California. Boom, that's it. It was around the corner from my house. I snapped a picture of it. Then I sized it down, and then I also took a picture of the trunk of the tree, and I just condensed it to the parameters, again, an Amazon template. And I don't think I met the exact specification, but I was very close, and Amazon just tweaked it a little bit. Whoever overlooks your book when you submit your the cover, you submit the cover separately, then you submit the actual content. And then they give you, again, a complete viewer to see everything. So if you're capable of doing some things by yourself, taking this into Photoshop and, you know, putting your name and the title and stuff on it. If you got a bigger book, you would, you know, something you would put in the spine is maybe the title and the author, but this book is kind of small, so they suggested that I don't. And you just customize it to however you want it. But this all depends on how much you know about, you know, again, if you don't know that much about Photoshop, don't let that distract you or deter you, rather. Use Amazon services. They're free, they're part of it, and if you want to take it a step further, they have like a $1.99 package to get it there. And last but not least, you set the price, the description, you can create an author page, the ISBN, all that comes through via Amazon services. So again, this is why I completely recommend using Amazon Create Space to do your book. It's been an easy process for me. I can't say that I was stressed out about anything. In terms of Kindle, once you get your book uploaded and everything is good on that side, then you can move to the Kindle side. That process was just as much as, it took the same amount of work, but you're pretty much already done. The only thing I would recommend is that there's a Kindle template. All of the cool little ways that I've kind of put in the chapter, like where it says chapter 5 and that font type and all that 1956, that doesn't, for me at least, it didn't convey over to the Kindle. Kindle is just kind of cut and dry, standard text, and once you upload it, it'll remove any of those things. And I had like, let me show you. Sorry, to jump back, I uploaded my documents as PDFs versus Word. Certain format didn't work, but if you load it as a PDF, it preserves all of it, and Amazon or CreateSpace accepts it. Things like this, that capital T, yeah, that doesn't fly in the Kindle version. So please note that you will lose formatting, and that's okay, but don't expect that to be there. And then again, this may be a limitation on my end and my knowledge, but it didn't convert over to me. And any other book that I kind of saw on Kindle didn't really have a lot of that formatting. Not a big deal. The Kindle process is very similar. You'll get a template, put your stuff in, you'll upload this cover page, and from there it was pretty quick. They say it takes like, you know, a week or, you know, something to that effect. I mean, this was a day later. They were like, you know, take a look. It's available. It's approved. And that's it. I can only encourage you to do 2 more things. Set up your author page, which is another thing to log into. So it's like you're logging into CreateSpace is 1. Then you're logging into like Kindle Direct is 2. Then you're logging into like an author's page, which is 3, to get the complete and full services that Amazon offers. They offer a lot more marketing services, free book promotions. There's so much stuff out there. I am just beginning. I do not know everything there is to know about this process. I'm just giving you just the bare bones insight to how do I get this in my hands at the end of the day. And I'm very proud of it. Last but not least, something that's not a part of Amazon, and I would encourage you to do, so it doesn't have anything to do with this, but copyright. Go to the copyright.gov or something to that. It's $35. The same file format that you're going to upload that PDF, they accept it. Protect yourself. Not to say that, you know, Tree Hugger is the greatest story in the world and somebody's going to take it, and you never know. I mean, I remember the Matrix. I believe that story was taken from somebody, and now granted it worked out because this person's probably like a super millionaire, if not billionaire, because they stole it and produced it, and years later, boom, she sued, and I mean, the rest is history. I don't know that much about the story. I just know that that's what happened. So I guess if you want to steal Tree Hugger, make sure you turn it into $100+ million opportunity for yourself, and then I'll come back and sue your butt on the back end. So be more than welcome. More than welcome. It's copywritten, so go ahead, by all means. Go ahead and try it. You know, I could use the money. So that's it. Best of luck. If you have any questions, I'm more than willing to fill out my experience or tell you my experience. Just dialogue back and forth with you in the comment section. But good luck to you. I am super thrilled. So that's it. Take care.